This semester, we grew 6 different crops, and out of those 6, 2 were different varieties of poinsettias. One of the varieties was Freedom Red and Freedom White. The rest of the crops we had Gerber daisies, and we had an autumn variety, a Chardonnay variety, as well as a strawberry variety. We also had some dianthus, we had snapdragons, and we had a white, scarlet, and sunglow orange variety. We also grew dianthus with a pelleted crimson eye and strawberry variety. And for our echinacea, we had a green variety, a golden yellow variety, and an orange sunset variety. We also had a variety of succulents. So in the beginning, it was pretty much the same process for all of our plants. So they were all in plugs. For the fact that there's a plant in this pot, this was not my doing, but these were the exact kind of pots that we used. As you can see, to scale, here's a fake CD that's about 4.7 inches. These pots are 5 inches. So once we had all of our plants in some pots and we had it all organized, it was time to make an irrigation system. We installed a drip irrigation system with an irrigation controller, and we set that to water the plants 3 times a week for 5 minutes. For fertilizer, we used a pretty universal fertilizer for ornamental plants, and it was Jack's 15515. We used a dosatron to inject that at a 100-to-1 ratio. So for every 100 units of water, there'd be 1 unit of fertilizer. And we would send that through our drip irrigation system, and that would go to all the plants. So as we were getting the drip irrigation installed, that's when a few issues cropped up. We had a few fungus gnats, a few pods. We also had aphids. I believe we also had some spider mites. I do remember there being a caterpillar or 2 somewhere, but I can't really remember them being an issue at all. They were there for a day or 2, and someone must have removed them. I didn't pay much attention to the caterpillars. The gnats, they were getting a lot of attention from me. They were always catching my attention, and that was a problem. There was a pesticide sprayed in the greenhouse during one of the weekends to help alleviate that issue. And it did for the most part, it mostly worked. I believe Pam did it. Pam helped us grow a lot of our poinsettias. So the overall care for the plants was pretty much the same, but there's only one thing that needed to be different, and that was soil measurements. And we measured pH and EC every Friday, once a week, and we had a shared document where we would type all of our findings in. All the other plants beside the poinsettias, we wanted the EC to be around 1.5 to 2.5. Poinsettias really like an EC of 2.5 to 4.5. And for the pH, they all really liked 5.5 to 6.5. So we would just test and ensure that was still in the range, and it never really went out of range. So that was a good thing. I believe the hardest crop was the poinsettia because of its different requirements compared to the rest of our plants. But it was also the majority of our plants. I believe we had 600 poinsettias. The shape, we just generally went for their usual shape, just kind of like a bush. To do that, in order to get a more bushy look rather than a taller look, we picked off the tips of all the poinsettia stems to encourage outward growth rather than upward growth. And that worked for the majority of them. There were some that seemed to want to go up more still, but most of them really evened out, and they were all so nice. And in order to preserve that shape and to keep it going, we applied a PGR. It's called Psychocell. We watered every single one, and we did